Welcome to r/am I the a-hole, where OP pre-games his wife's dinners. But stick around after for more drama-filled Am I the a-holes, such as OP calling her friend a gold digger and OP refusing to talk to the women that work with him. Am I the a-hole for pre-gaming my wife's dinners? My wife and I are both 32. Since we got married and moved in together 5 months ago, my wife has simply not made nearly enough food for me. This is not a kind of situation where I'm constantly agitated at her for incompetence or anything like that. My wife has, every single night of our marriage, done the same thing. She'll make me a tiny dinner. I'm talking a Chinese chicken salad with 30 grams of chicken and 10 leaves of lettuce arranged fashionably with dressing. When I finish eating, I'm still hungry because for a 230-pound man who works a physical labor job, it's not enough food. At first, I tried to openly communicate with her, but she always took it horribly. She would adopt a 1,000-yard stare and then begin talking about how incompetent she is and how she can't even make her husband a proper dinner. I tried to calm her down with, "Oh, honey, oh, time to wake up." I tried to calm her down with, "Oh, honey, that's not the case. I just eat too much." Or, "Don't worry about it. I can make a bit more." I tried to be overwhelmingly positive. It never helped. She would always just get incredibly disappointed in herself, cry, and or take it out on me. Then she would make the same exact amount the following day. After the communication route failed, I tried to eat her dinners as is. It became hard to sleep at night due to hunger, and I lost 7 pounds in the first month. Eventually, I figured out my own system. On my way home from work, I started swinging by a fast food restaurant and getting myself a burger. I would basically pre-game her meals with some more calories. I figured it was a win-win, as what she doesn't know can't hurt her, and I could have my fill of food. I would eat on my way home, walk in the door, pick at the salad or homemade mac and cheese she made, compliment her for her delicious cooking, and later dispose of the wrappers discreetly. 2 days ago, I was on my way home and in line at a drive-thru. My mother-in-law was coming out of the restaurant. She ran over and greeted me. I asked her in a humorous way not to tell her daughter where she saw me because she'd take it badly, and she agreed. But then she narked on me anyway. I got home to a furious wife who demanded details. When I provided the truth, she got extremely angry and looked legitimately hurt. I'm not good at handling confrontation and feel like I betrayed my wife in some way. I almost want to go with not enough information on this because there is something going on with that wife. This could be a couple of different avenues. Like maybe she has anorexia and it's bleeding into her partner in the way that she feeds her partner. Maybe she's low-key manipulative and wants her husband to lose weight on her terms. I don't know. There has to be something. Like, how does OP tell his wife what the problem is and then the wife doesn't make any effort to fix it? Actually, now that I'm like saying that, I think I have to go with not the a-hole. Not the a-hole, but also get more information on your wife. Maybe send her to therapy. There's definitely something there that needs to get worked out. That's the root of the entire problem. The last line kind of got me, the way he said he feels like he betrayed his wife. Let me know in the comments if you think OP betrayed his wife and if they're the a-hole or not. Am I the a-hole for telling my friend to stop flaunting her money and calling her a gold digger? I, 39 female, have been BFFs with Jill, 40 female, since we were in high school. Between the two of us, she's always been a bombshell. Blonde, tall, slim, big boobs, etc. She never dated anyone in high school, which was weird to me because almost everyone in our school did, including myself. When we were in college, she was still turning guys down and I asked her why, and she said she wants someone who is financially stable. I laughed it off at the time. I should also mention she grew up poor, as in her mother was going to a food bank poor. After we graduated, she got a job at a gym teaching yoga. I continued my education to be a teacher. She eventually met someone at the gym and he's rich. Like, I can't even comprehend the kind of money this guy has. Fast forward to now, they're married with 2 kids, and I believe she signed a prenup when they married. We were out to dinner on the Saturday that just passed with 2 other friends from college, and she wanted to go to a very expensive place. Her treat. She does this a lot. Flaunts her money, clothes, trips, etc. I always try to smile and ignore it, but it has been slowly bothering me. The dinner was going fine until one of our friends, Amanda, asked Jill what she was planning on doing for her birthday. Jill said her and her husband were going to Greece for 3 weeks. Amanda and Sharon both made comments about how nice and lovely that is, and I kind of scoffed at it. When Jill asked me what was wrong, I admittedly lost it. I told her I'm tired of her flaunting her money at everybody all the time, and everyone knows she only married her husband for money. It got very very quiet for a couple of seconds, and to my surprise, Jill very calmly asked if that's what everyone really thought. I said yes. Jill then asked if it was at all possible that she initially dated him for his money, but fell in love with him along the way. Both our other friends said, of course. At the same time, I said no. I told her she fell in love with what he could provide for her. She then stood up and said she had other places to be and not to worry about the bill. She left, and the three of us finished our meal in silence. When the server came around, she handed me the bill for my meal only. She paid for herself and the other two, but left me to pay for an almost $50 meal that I couldn't afford. I texted her and called her an a-hole. She replied saying not to message her again until I apologized for my earlier comments. If you've been watching my videos for a while, you know that these are my favorite types of posts. The ones where they write out literal paragraphs about how much of an a-hole they've been, and then clicked post on Reddit, still thinking, people will be on my side. So many things wrong with this. For starters, it's not flaunting to take your friends to a nice place and offer to pay. That's called being a really nice friend. You should appreciate that. And then OP saying all these terrible things and still expecting Jill to pick up the bill. That was a nice rhyme. Jill to pick up the bill. Jill to pick up the bill.
You assuming I'm a human. What I gotta do to get it through to you? I'm superhuman.
The audacity, bro. Like, how are you gonna say all those awful things and still expect her to pay for you? Also, it's super important to note that Jill didn't just bring up out of the blue that she's going to Greece. Like, her friends asked what she was doing for her birthday, and then she responded. That's not flaunting, that's answering a question. OP is definitely the a-hole here. I can tell just by how this was written that they're jealous, they're insecure, and they need therapy, because this is not how you treat a friend. Do you agree with my verdict? Definitely let me know in the comments below. And hey, if you're still here, probably means you're enjoying the video even a little bit. If you could do me a favor, hit that subscribe button so you can see my videos every single week. Am I the a-hole for yelling at my wife after she blew up my phone with calls because of a fire? I work in a place where we are not allowed to have personal electronics on us at all. No phones, no smartwatches, no pagers. Who the hell still has a pager? What the? I've been working here for about 6 months, so my wife knows this and understands that she should not try to contact me by my cell at work. Phones are dropped off in our lockers, and I typically have mine on Do Not Disturb. Before this incident, my phone has never gone off in the locker before. Recently, there was a pretty big fire at a secondary work site that I do work at occasionally, but that day I was working at the main building. Local news covered the fire before I found out about it because, again, no electronics. Plus, the work we do isolates us a bit, so news travels pretty slow. There were a few casualties and a lot of seriously injured folk. My wife had been watching the news from home and started freaking out. She called me 20 freaking times, which, and I did not know this was possible, overrode my DND, and my phone was ringing for a while in my locker. In the middle of my shift, I got called into my manager's office and was chewed out and written up for my phone making so much noise. They told me to go take care of whatever it was making my phone go off before I went back to work. I won't lie, when I saw those 20 missed calls from my wife, I was seriously pissed off. Like I said, she knows not to try to contact me directly, and a citation hurt my chances of getting a raise or a promotion. I called her back and she was sobbing and asking me if I was okay. I said of course I was okay and asked what the F was wrong with her trying to call me so many times. She was still crying and started talking about the fire. After that, I started half yelling at her about all the reasons it was dumb of her to call me. When I got home, she was super upset with me. I apologized for yelling, but she refused to talk. She's been very chilly the past few days and sleeping in our daughter's room. I know it was not the best decision to yell at her, but I still think my anger is justified. 1, she knows I don't work in the secondary worksite very often. 2, she knows I can't be contacted directly and she should have just called the office. 3, 20 phone calls is absolutely insane. So the Reddit thread labeled this one as "you're the a-hole," which I do have to agree with to an extent. While your wife's behavior was a little irrational, it was all coming from the fact that she loves you and cares about you and wanted to make sure you were okay, which was then met by you yelling at her and calling her dumb, which is terrible. Nobody should do that. Nobody wants that. Could the wife have maybe been a little bit more rational about it? Yeah, but I don't think you can expect anybody who thinks their spouse might be dead to act rationally. I think there could potentially be an argument for everyone sucks here if you want to claim that the wife is being an a-hole, and also the manager. What kind of manager gives someone a citation because their phone is ringing in their locker? Especially after you guys just had employees die. Like, what? So stupid. That's why I could see there's an argument for everyone sucks here, but I want to know what you think in the comments below. Am I the a-hole for upgrading my house's thermostat so I could password protect it from my wife. My wife, 26 female, and I, 28 male, have been married for about half a year now. This summer has been quite hot, and so like most people, we have been running our air conditioner nearly around the clock. My wife and I have very different ideas of how we should run it though. Using energy saver recommendations, I like to keep it at around 76 Fahrenheit and on low. My wife likes to turn it down to 60 degrees and blast it on the highest setting, then turn it off when she gets cold, then turn it back on again when she gets hot. I've tried discussing this with her, but there's literally nothing I can do or say to convince her. She currently stays at home taking care of the house while I go to work, and the second I'm out the door, the thermostat is messed with. I've tried showing her our exorbitantly, oh my, what the f? I've tried showing her our I've tried showing her our expensive power bill, but she doesn't care. She says that she's at home all day, and so she should have control over it. We've argued about this on and off since. About 3 weeks ago, I got a reservation for a new digital thermostat installation. The guys finally came in a few days ago and installed a new smart thermostat off of our older air conditioning unit. The first thing I did was password protect it, so you would need a PIN to change any of the settings. My wife came home a few hours ago after I had set the PIN and noticed the new unit. When she tried to change the settings, she was met with a request for a PIN, and she asked me what it was. I told her that I wouldn't be telling her that. Then she asked what she should do if she gets hot. I responded that she can still turn the air conditioning on and off without the PIN. The next morning, I left for work as normal, setting it to 76. When I got home in the afternoon, I found my wife on the living room floor pantomiming a fainting spell. She mustered the energy to say, "Help, water." I ignored her because you can't faint from heat in a climate-controlled room. When she realized I wouldn't give her attention, she exploded in anger and yelled that she could have died, prompting another argument. She ended it with calling me controlling and hasn't said more than a word to me since. And if you look to our left, you'll see OP and his wife acting like children. Like, bro, come on. What is this post? I know everybody likes to laugh at those like dad with the thermostat memes, but OP has really taken it to a new level. OP definitely earned the a-hole title with that one. Like, bro, it's both of your guys' houses. Give her the pin. But then they're both just collectively a-holes for not being able to compromise like grown adults. Hey, if you like 76 and you like 60, let's meet in the middle. Wow. Who would have thought of that? Oh, some idiot YouTuber on the internet. Yeah, this is just stupid. Just grow up. Am I the a-hole for asking a female coworker if they could possibly leave me alone? Long story short, I am not exactly comfortable around women, and I do what I can to minimize my interactions with females as much as I can. Has nothing to do with capabilities or anything. I just get extremely uncomfortable. We have a new hire that's been trying to get to know people around the office better, and I happen to just excuse myself when she comes around. Thankfully, I work in the field a lot, so I'm often alone. So it does not happen often, but when I do come to the office, she keeps trying to befriend me or talk to me. I am civil and polite. I say hello and can handle idle chit-chat, even if it is visibly uncomfortable for me. She brought this up with my friend in the office, and he explained the situation. And since then, it seems she has made it her mission to have me open up. On Friday, I asked if she could leave me alone, please, that I have no intention to become her friend or open up. She lashed out and called me a misogynistic a-hole. I thought it over the weekend and have been racking my brain. Am I really the a-hole for not wanting to put myself in uncomfortable situations if I can avoid it? If I have to take her out in the field or help explain my drafts, I will push through since it is work related. I still get uncomfortable, but it is what it is. Those are situations I cannot avoid, but general interactions, I do not think it is wrong of me to limit those when possible. On the other hand, I also understand this is a me problem. I go to therapy, but that only does so much. This is something rooted in trauma, and I am not comfortable writing about it. She should not be punished for my own issues. So the Reddit thread labeled OP as the a-hole, I don't agree with that whatsoever. Everybody who was commenting on this thread was just completely ignoring OP's trauma and saying he's a terrible person for not just overcoming it. Like, what the? Look, I don't want to be that guy, but I also want to advocate for men's mental health. I think there's a high chance if OP was a female afraid of male coworkers, nobody would say they're the a-hole. But since it's the opposite, y'all aren't willing to go to bat for OP's mental health. It's not like OP's being mean about it. It's not like the situation hasn't been explained to this coworker. If anything, the coworker coworkers kind of being an a-hole. It's like the extrovert that tries to pry everything out of the introvert. Like, bro, if he doesn't want to be your friend, he doesn't want to be your friend. It's not a challenge. Go be friends with somebody else. OP is actively in therapy trying to overcome this trauma, whatever it may be. I see no inklings of a-hole here. Honestly, I'm a little disappointed of this thread. Male mental health issues are also serious, and it's a little disappointing to see the internet not support that. Going with not the a-hole here, I think OP just politely set their boundaries, and the other person took it the wrong way. But as always, I want to know what you think in the comments below. Maybe I missed something. That's all the Am I the A-hole posts I had for you today. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. You can watch another one of my videos here, and you can watch my podcast here. I will see you guys next week.